Morning, YouTube. This is Rich from Rich Micro Tooling Technologies, and I just want to be a little upfront from someone who's coming from a larger scale tool room, industrial, so on and so forth. Background, getting into what I'm doing right now, which is micro tooling technology, all small stuff. 8-inch drill press, smaller mill, smaller lathe on the other side, which we'll get into in a couple of minutes. But from your traditional toolbox, which you're going to be using in that setting in the tool room, everything's a little bit on a grander scale. And I just want to bring that to your attention, because if you're going to be trying to do this in your home shop, you're going to have to scale down. And yeah, it was a little bit of an eye-opener for me, going down into the smaller stuff. So I just want to tell you that it's reachable. You can do this. You may opt to buy, or you may opt to use your machine tools that you have in front of you and scale down a little bit. And I'm just going to go over a couple of things. I'm sure there's a hell of a lot more, but things that I've noticed along the way, and try to help you with yours. So I'm going to shut you down here. I'm going to get you centered up in front of the mill, and we're just going to talk about just a couple of things that I noticed in my travels. Okay, here we go. Hold on. All right, so let's start to go over. Let's go from back to front and from left to right. Okay, so let's talk about our indicators. A regular indicator that you're going to be using, again, in that industrial setting. 20-inch swing lathes, 30-inch swing lathes, versus 7-inch, which is right behind me, but we'll get to that in a minute. So I've gone from our regular indicators. Here, I'll just take it. Let's get this together before it falls off. Okay. 1-inch travel Mitutoyo. It's on a big magnetic base. I have the shorter throw, or shorter rods on, because I tried to adapt all this to both my mill and lathe. To now I have these little micro, here, I'll just move these out of the way so you can see it. Small V block, small flat. Again, this is my Noga. This is a knockoff. This is my Noga. I have a 1-inch travel on that. I have my best test indicator on the other one. And those I have two. One, I'll use this for my 4-jaw chuck, when I'm indicating off my 4-jaw chuck. And then this one is just going to be for run out on the actual, let's say, turning something, and I just want to make sure that the run is good. I'll check it with my best test. And also I'll use that on this too, because I will swivel indicate on this. Now let's go to the jack stands. These here are what I'm going to say I would use traditionally in the machine shop. Okay, this is going to go on each side of your 6-inch cart, or whichever one you have. Some very nice with the slot, with the V slot in it. These are just to pick up on your flat, to basically these. Okay, so I had made those. Those were I made here in the small shop. And also, let me get on the other side of you here without knocking you senseless. I also made plugs that'll adapt higher for indicating off that vise, and to support work that is a little bit larger than your vise. Now, I used to use this vise here. Let me swing it around here a little bit, maybe you can see better. This used to be my main vise for this mill. I got the jobs. I got a little bit money, so I figured I'd get a cart style vise, Chinese knockoff, oh well, for the mill. I purchased it. I'm very happy with it. I had to work it a little bit, Another story, another time, another story. To this are your drill chucks. You're not going to get a standard drill chuck in there. So, luckily, in all my years, I've went and I purchased this drill chuck. I use this drill chuck. Well, you know what? I threw them in my box, not knowing that I'd be where I am today. And I'm happy I did it, because now I have drill chucks that I can put in my 5C collets, or I'm sorry, my R7s. R8s. Apologize. R8. Very good drill chucks. You're not going to get that 3/4 drill, that 1-inch drill on this. So you have to take into consideration that you've scaled down from the tool room, and I had a problem with that when I first started thinking about jobs and what I'm going to be getting. I look at things and I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that. I'm thinking tool room. I'm not thinking that my shop is scaled down, and you better rethink about your tooling. And this spans many different things. And I'm going to bring you over here. And we're going to go to our mill stops. Let's see this here. Okay, so this here was my mill stop in the industrial setting. Homemade. I made this when I was doing my apprenticeship. It served me well. Served me 26 plus years, this. But I had to scale down. So I scaled down to this because it's conducive of the work that you'll be doing on this mill. And so now when you think ahead, okay, well, yeah, you got the stops, you got this, that, and the other thing. Well, what if you want to set an angle? I always had a 2.5 inch here to here, 2.5 inches on a sine bar. Honestly, perfect for this mill and this vise. You could use this. You can use electronic angles or protractors. Sine bar is the best thing that you're going to get. It's the most accurate angle you're going to get. Now we're going to talk about our hold down hardware and how it varies. Now, this is just a strap clamp. So now you have to build it up on this side here. I have no problem doing that, especially for the smaller stuff. This here is extreme. 9 times out of 10 you're going to be using something like this in your T-slots, of course. Here. But you have different types of hold down hardware, and you got to think things like this. I personally didn't when I bought this. Yeah, I mean, you read along that you have your different types of hold down clamping, you know, but you think, I've got clamping. Well, you may and you may not, but be aware, everything is being downsized. Everything is being downsized. I love this little chuck here. Jacob's chuck, a zero chuck, and I've seen, you know, some of the bigger dogs here that you see online, Ox Tools, and you're gonna see Fenner, and you're gonna see Keith Rucker, my Tony, all right, old Tony rather. They all have the bigger mills. So I don't really see many videos, at least I haven't searched them rigorously as to the mini mill. So I'm trying to introduce people that are on my channel, and hopefully I'll do the right search, you know, that's going to show the mini mill, the mini lathe. And with that being said, this is about where we are with the mill. So I'm going to shut you down, I'm going to spin you around, and we're going to look at the lathe. Okay, so now we're at the mini lathe, and again, scale down as we've spoke before. All your tool holders are going to be smaller. Swing, length, everything is going to be smaller. You're going to find, at least I did when I first started this, I was used to using half-inch cutters, tool blanks. Now I'm down to 3/16, 5/16, half or quarter inch, 5/16, 3/8. So that's the size of my tool bits now. Just things that you have to think of. But one of the things that I was able to cross over with is my boring bars. So luckily I'm able to use my boring bars, which I don't recommend carbide per se on the mini mill or the mini lathe. The mini lathe does not have the torque. It does not have the power behind it to really rip. So therefore, try not to use carbide insert or cemented carbides. Not cemented carbides, but like these. Used to use these in the tool room all the time. In fact, as you can see, I'll show you here. I'll swing you around and you can look. This is a junk drawer. Hence junk drawer, because I don't use this stuff anymore. I got a whole box that I'm not really able to use on the mini lathe. But you know what? I will someday, because these little machines here that you've seen, it's going to help me buy bigger machines. When, I don't know. Will it happen? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so getting back to what I was talking about. The boring bars, and you'll see, it's just brazed carbide tips on high-speed steel. They work well for if you're doing a bore. I do use these. Trust me, they work fine. I went from this 4 tool post, which they call it, I don't know if they actually even call this a quick change or not, or quick tooling, don't know. This is alright if you're going to dedicate tooling, because you're going to have to shim up or down, or however, to get your tool on center. Don't really care much for that, so I went out and I purchased myself a tool post, quick change tool post, and along with that came a couple of tooling things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got a cutoff tool, got a boring bar, got a knurling tool with the backside for additional straight tooling, and then just regular ones for both turning and facing. So then I went ahead. I don't know if you want to go back and look at my channel. I made 3 additional ones just on my own, just out of cold rolled mild steel. Oh, they work well. They're good. They're good for me. So I guess the moral of the story, I guess that I'm trying to help everyone with is when you leave that industrial setting, or you come home, or you leave, whatever, you gotta remember you have to work within the capacity of your machines. You may not have that big machine to do a job with. You may only be left with this, so you're going to have to possibly turn jobs away, refer to other places. But that's the reality of it. With this, I'm going to wish you all good luck if you're going to start your own little tool room or machine shop in your basement like I have done. I enjoy myself. Bigger machines are on the way. And with that, Happy New Year to all. And go out and make some chips. Have a good day, everybody.